This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is Samsung's affordable tablet for 2020. This is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7, which is a 10.4-inch tablet, so don't get confused by the A7 name there. It starts at $229 with 32 gigs of storage, or $279 with 64 gigs of storage. And it's a lot like the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite we looked at, but minus the S Pen support. Same screen size, same screen as far as I can tell. A lot of other things that are similar too. But is everything? We're going to find out now. So Samsung makes a lot of premium tablets these days. We've already reviewed the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 line, which is their most expensive, and that has not just S Pen support, but optional 4G LTE, higher resolution displays, OLED, all that fancy stuff, but costs way more than this one. So this is more your entry level, something you're getting for your kids, maybe in grade school to do their homework on or keep them entertained and all that sort of thing. You're not going to break the bank with it, but it's a name brand and pretty good quality. You get the idea there. 10.4-inch LCD display TFT, no OLED at this price range, and the resolution is a little odd at 2000 by 1200, but it's the same as the S6 Lite. That is fine, I suppose. We have a Snapdragon 662 CPU, which is a mid-range CPU, versus an Exynos CPU in the S6 Lite, which I'll keep comparing because they're not that far apart in price. But they're both kind of mid-rangey CPUs, and the performance isn't that different. While the Exynos does a little bit better on CPU tasks, the Snapdragon does better on GPU tasks, but we're not talking a wild difference here. 3 gigs of RAM, and again, your choice of 32 or 64 gigs of storage. If you opt for that S6 Lite, probably because you want the S Pen, for example, that one is 64 gigs, so it goes against the $279 model here in terms of storage capacity. MicroSD card slot, though, so you can expand storage. The tablet runs Android 10 with One UI 2.5. If you're familiar with Samsung products, it will look very familiar to you with all their usual embellishments of the operating system, which actually are pretty tasteful and well done and handy these days, so I don't have any complaints about that. Quick access to your settings when you do the drop down, all of that sort of stuff. Now, you've got 2 cameras here. I don't think you're going to be buying a tablet mainly for its cameras, but just in case, we have an 8 megapixel on the back, a 5 megapixel on the front. Again, very similar to the Tab S6 Lite. In good light, outdoors or well-lit indoors, they're decent enough, and you've got up to 1080p video recording on that rear camera. But indoors, as you can see from the picture, the cat in the kitchen and not even nighttime, and you don't want to use this for nighttime photography, that is for sure. From what I can tell, Samsung doesn't state this, but it seems to me that the back is plastic on this. It weighs just a hair over a pound, so that's about typical for a 10-inch tablet, and they're all going to weigh about that. It's pretty slim, though, a little over 7 millimeters, so that's nice for the price. You're not going to get a chunky monkey or something like that. So how does it feel experientially to use? Okay, I mean, we can do benchmarks till the cows come home, but in real-world use, doing everyday things, it feels okay. I notice it feeling a little sluggish here and there. Now, I am used to using Samsung's flagship phones as a comparison point there. Most of the time, it feels just fine. This is not like the world's zippiest tablet, but it's adequate. If you're going to be using this for homeschooling stuff or streaming YouTube or Netflix or whatever it is that you want, it's fine. If you're going to play games, it's good. If you're going to play something like SimCity, it's absolutely fine. If you're going to play more demanding, graphically intensive games like, say, Asphalt 9, then I did notice the frame rates were not real smooth. It's still really very playable, but you'll notice the frame rates are not, well, as good as they possibly could be. But then again, this is a $229 to $279 tablet. Battery life on this is pretty good. 7,040 milliamp battery, supports Qualcomm Quick Charge, comes with a typical Samsung charger with a USB-A receptacle and a cord that plugs into the USB-C port on the tablet. By the way, this does have a headphone jack. Yay that. So tablets, we don't tend to use them as intensely as we use our phones, but I would say for most people this is going to be a charge it a couple of times a week sort of tablet. In terms of playing games, and that's going to be the most demanding thing you do, you'll go at least 4 hours playing a game on this before you're going to think about recharging. For lighter use, you'll probably go 2 days or so without worrying about charging it. Speaking of games and multimedia things, this has quad stereo speakers. They're not AKG branded like they are on the S6 Lite and on the Tab S7, but pretty loud and pretty full. In fact, surprisingly so. So for multimedia purposes, it's quite good then. So again, just to recap with the S6 Lite, because it is the $70 more expensive tablet, it's close enough in price so you might be considering it. The difference there really is mostly going to be the S Pen. You're looking at about the same display, you're looking about the same battery capacity, and the S6 Lite is available with optional 4G LTE for those of you who need that. It does have a 1 more gig of RAM, which can help a little bit with the perceived smoothness of performance, especially if you're multitasking between apps. So that's the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 for a $229 starting price. It's a pretty nice tablet. I mean, it's a brand that you can trust. The build quality on this is good. The speakers are great. The display is decent enough on it. Even off-angle viewing is okay given the price point. Performance, again, is fine for most everyday productivity tasks, homeschooling, streaming video, and all that sort of stuff. So there you have it. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and thumbs up if you like this vid.